Hey everybody, Shiv here. So we're back. We've got 3 new cards we're going to take a look at, 2 of which are legendary, 1 of which is a classless epic. Yes, as in no class. Alright, so without further ado, let's get into this. Anubarak, 9 mana for an 8/4. What the fuck body is that? Alright, probably it's all about the ability, so let's take a look. Death Rattle, return this to your hand and summon a 4/4 Nerubian. I kind of like this. I really do. I'm a huge fan of the old tempo rogue that used to exist where you always were having value out there. Cairn was really important in that deck. Here, it kind of feels like the same thing. It's literally a giant body that when you kill it, basically summons a slightly weaker... I mean, it's going to give you a 4/4 with the Nerubians, which, you know, hey, that's actually pretty cool. So you big game hunter this, you're automatically going to have the answer to the big game hunter, right? Or because you're rogue, you could just, you know, backstab it and go YOLO, have 4 to the face, or use that 4 to trade something else to tempo them out. That's how that works. So, late game tempo-wise, this is actually kind of cool. The downside here is, you know, rogues don't have an effective way of ramping out a big body minion at all. Alright? With the exception of maybe Burgle, but then you've got to be playing up against, you know, a Druid for that to really be, you know, effective, and, you know, it's a crapshoot, but, you know, hey, whatever. So, I kind of like it. This is definitely more a tempo thing. I don't see this used very well in any kind of combo-based deck or aggressive cancer deck. So, we'll have to wait and see. I like the card. I think it's really interesting. I think it's got a lot of potential in certain builds. But again, meta dictates everything. So we're going to have to wait and see what happens with this. Alright, next up we've got Aviana, 9 mana for a 5/5. What is with this weird statting? Okay, alright. Your minions cost 1. Holy shit. Yeah, because, you know, the one thing Druids had a problem with was getting out big body fucking shit quick. Now you're giving them the ability of getting big body shit out in spam form in the late game. Alright, so the obvious thing here, turn 10, play this, play Kel'Thuzad. I mean, that was so goddamn apparent it's not even funny. Where it gets even worse, though, is turn 10, play this, Innervate, Kel'Thuzad, Sneasel Shredder, and just for shits and giggles, throw in a goddamn Sylvanas or Cenarius, whatever you fucking please. Basically, you get so much value at that point. What is your opponent to do? You know, Light Bomb is about one of the only things that really comes to mind. Twisting Nether the other. Probably that's one of the best. Could this card actually necessitate Deathwing becoming a stable counter? Maybe, guys. Maybe. I never once thought I would say Deathwing becoming a stable card as a counterplay ever in my life for Hearthstone. I never thought that was ever going to become a scenario, but this could actually enable that. But I like the card. It's really, really interesting. Now, yes, you could get this down turn 4, turn 5, relatively... I'm not going to say it's going to be easy because, you know, we all know the story of the turn 3 rag, okay? So, this could come down turn 4, right? So, but then, you know, it sits out there by itself. You have no mana to really make it that viable. And, of course, let's take a look at it. It is killable by a fucking fireball. Or, you want to go cheaper, a flame cannon and a hero power, alright? So... The body statting is done this way for a reason, so you're really going to only want to use this when you've got that ultimate. Trying to play this down and not having any follow-up on it is just a really bad idea. I definitely see this in decks that run Kel'Thuzad and some other shenanigans and stuff of that nature. But now the question is this too slow? Well, if you look at all the stuff the Druids have been getting, they actually got some really good 2-drop stuff that they could use to kind of, you know, temp out the board and just buy them some time. You look at the rest of their available arsenal, they've got a lot of tools that could actually help to get to this point. So what we might actually see is, like, rather than, you know, I mean, the whole fast Druid combo is always going to exist until they actually change something in it, but you might actually see a new type of ramp coming out to where it it's going to be like the super ramp using nourishes and everything of that nature. They get to turn 9 and they just start popping out nothing but big ass minions. Alright? And inevitably, unless you've been just going, they'll be able to actually counter you pretty damn decently. It's just a big body overwhelm deck. This is not an uncommon scenario in a lot of TCG games. So, I like the card. And I can't wait to see what happens. But if this card becomes like a serious fucking contender in the meta, expect some new shenanigans to pop up. I definitely could see like Twisting Nether and Deathwing becoming popularized again just to deal with the new druids. Alright, moving on to the final card. We have the Grand Crusader, 6 mana for a 5/5. Battlecry, add a random paladin card to your hand. Now this doesn't say spell. It doesn't say minion. It doesn't say weapon. It says random card. So you can get one of their crappy ass secrets. You can get a fucking Light's Justice. You could get Sacred Shield, Blessing of Wisdom, or you can get Tyrion. You get Lay on Hands. You get Avenging Wrath. You can get a whole bunch of myriad of cool stuff, mid-range stuff. You know, have at it. Outdoor Peacekeeper. Even that new legendary that they just introduced, which is the Super Outdoor Peacekeeper for all intents and purposes. There's a lot of variants on this card, but I will say this. Would I run this over Emperor Thursday? Fuck no. Would I run this over Sylvanas? No. Would I take this in Arena? You're goddamn right I do. Alright, just because that variance could make or break things. Alright, I like the card as an Arena value. Constructed, the variance just really kind of gets me. I mean, it is a solid 5/5 body, but when you talk about 6-drops, that's a very interesting spot there because you don't want to have too many, and we're already looking at most decks running Sylvanas and Emperor Thurzan. So are you really going to cut those two powerful fucking legendaries for this epic? I mean, if you don't have Sylvanas, then I guess kind of maybe, but I could probably come up with a better 6-drop than that. But I don't know. We'll have to see. We will definitely have to see. But yeah, so that's all that we have. We are expecting more cards to be released here very, very soon. They've made an announcement that they'll be showing more cards at Gamescom here very soon. And I'd also like to point out we are about to break that halfway point in the set. Now, if you pay attention during Goblins vs. Gnomes, or even in their little expansions, once they hit like just over that halfway point, they normally just go and vomit everything out. We might actually see that at Gamescom, the rest of it just being vomited out, all 60 plus some odd cards. Actually 70 some odd. Or we might see another chunk here and a couple more released, and then like a third, you know, a third of what's of the set being vomited at that final end. That is a very strong possibility. It would not be uncommon. So be prepared, guys. As we're approaching the suspected date, which is the 24th. All right, August 24th is the suspected date of this. We're gonna get more and more. We're gonna be due for yet another large chunk vomit like we had at Gamescom here very soon, and probably the one at Gamescom is going to qualify for that large chunk vomit of content. So as we get closer to them revealed, once all the cards are out, generally within a week to 2 weeks of that is when the set comes out. That is what's traditionally been shown through their past releases. Alright, so other than that, if you like these videos, please like, subscribe, tell your friends, put it on Reddit, do whatever you want with it. Also, leave some comments down below. What do you think about these cards? What kind of combinations are you looking to? What are your thoughts on it? And if you think that I misspoke on something or I overlooked something, hey, let me know. You know, half the time I'm half awake when I'm doing these videos. Hate to break that to you, but I am. I am just so busy these days. Till then, this is Shiv saying, stay safe, have fun, and may RNGesus bless you. And if not, you always can bribe him. He's kind of a whore like that.